Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at beachfront property in the Riviera Maya.
Yeah, that's right.
We have some data straight from Broker Center, and while we won't be highlighting specific properties, we do want to paint a picture of what kind of investment we're talking about here.
Yeah, think of it as market intel, before you even step foot on the land.
Perfect. So let's dive right in. What does the price range look like these days?
Well, the Riviera Maya offers a pretty diverse range.
Yep.
You can find some beachfront condos that start as low as $600,000,
Mhm.
but then you have luxurious estates, beachfront properties listed for as much as $6.5 million.
Okay, so there's a pretty wide spectrum there.
Yeah, definitely.
Does this price range hold true across the entire Riviera Maya, or does it vary by location?
Location, right?
Right.
So in well-established hotspots like Cancun's Hotel Zone or Playa Car, you're going to find some premium prices.
Okay.
These areas are very developed, they have established tourism infrastructure, there's high demand, and the properties reflect that.
Makes sense. So if those areas are commanding top dollar, where might an investor look for properties with maybe a bit more room for growth?
That's where places like Tulum and Solomon Bay come in.
Okay.
They've seen incredible growth over recent years.
Yeah.
You might find a few properties in the $700,000 range,
Okay.
but you're seeing prices climb well above $5 million. So people are really indicating that there is future potential there.
So a bit of a calculated risk for an investor looking for that next hotspot.
Yeah, exactly. They're not as established as Cancun and Playa del Carmen, but for some investors, that's exactly what they're looking for.
Okay.
It just all depends on, your risk tolerance and your strategy.
And speaking of strategy, are there specific areas that stand out to you?
Well, there are a few kind of hidden gems, places like Tonka and Puerto Venturas.
Okay.
They offer kind of a laid-back, tranquil vibe than some of the bigger tourist hubs. And because they're a little less known, you might find some attractive pricing there.
I'm starting to get a sense of the range here. We've got those established players, the
Yeah.
up-and-comers, and then those hidden gems. But beyond the price and the location, what are some of the other factors investors should be thinking about when it comes to beachfront property in Riviera Maya?
Well, the type of property is important, Are we talking condos, standalone houses, or even land?
Right.
Each of those comes with its own set of considerations and, of course, a different price point.
Let's unpack that a little bit. What's the general breakdown of those property types?
So condos are generally the most accessible option,
All right.
especially for people who are looking for a vacation home or a rental property.
Right.
You'll find a lot of these in areas like Playa del Carmen.
Okay.
Houses, on the other hand, offer more privacy and exclusivity, and the prices can really vary wildly depending on size, location, amenities.
Yeah.
You might find a nice beachfront casa for a couple million, or you could be looking at a big estate that's 8 figures.
Well, quite a bit of variety.
Yeah.
Now, what about those land listings? What's the appeal of investing in beachfront land, and how does the pricing work there?
So land is really a blank canvas, people who want to kind of create their own paradise from the ground up.
Yeah.
And just like houses, the price of that land is going to vary depending on size and location.
Okay.
You might find a smaller lot in a developing area for under $500,000.
Okay.
Or you could be looking at, prime beachfront acreage in a more established area for over $2 million.
It really sounds like Riviera Maya has something for everyone, from the budget-conscious investor to those seeking ultra-luxury.
Definitely.
But with so much variety, how do you know where to even begin? What are some key market trends investors should know?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's important to really understand the nuances of each location.
Okay.
Some areas are experiencing, rapid price appreciation fueled by things like tourism, new infrastructure. Other areas are a little more stable and offer slower but steady growth.
So it's not just about choosing a location. You need to understand the forces at play that are driving the market.
Yeah, definitely.
But with all this information, I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed. What are some things investors should look for between the lines when analyzing these trends?
Well, what's interesting is that, the types of properties listed in a specific area can tell you a lot.
Okay.
For instance, a cluster of beachfront condos in a newer development might signal a market that's focused on vacation rentals.
Right.
On the other hand, if you see a lot of land listings, that might indicate an area that's ready for future development, but maybe with a little more risk involved.
It seems like there's a whole layer of interpretation that goes beyond just the numbers. It's like
Exactly.
a market puzzle waiting to be solved.
Right. And that's where, having a keen eye for detail and some expert guidance can be invaluable.
Well, on that note,
I think I know where you're going with
I
this.
can't help myself. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to make sure listeners understand this is just a glimpse
Right.
into Riviera Maya beachfront real estate. There's a lot more to uncover.
Absolutely. To truly grasp the nuances of each location and find the property that's right for you, you need to really dig deeper.
And that's where our amazing team comes in. They live and breathe this market, and they're ready to guide you.
Yeah, they can provide personalized insights, answer any questions you have, and really help you navigate, all the complexities of investing in beachfront property in Riviera Maya.
So for those of you feeling inspired to own your own piece of paradise,
Yeah.
the link to schedule a consultation with our expert team is down in the description box.
They'd love to chat with you and explore the possibilities.
Now, before you rush off to book that consultation, we have a lot more to discuss. So we've been talking about Riviera Maya beachfront real estate, and I'm already feeling like I need a vacation.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But before you book that flight, let's continue our deep dive into this market. We were just discussing how the types of properties listed in an area can really provide some valuable insights.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that a cluster of beachfront condos might indicate a focus on vacation rentals.
Right. Yeah, when you see a high concentration of condos, especially in newer developments, it often suggests that the area is catering to tourists and short-term rentals. So that can be a great opportunity for investors who are seeking to generate some rental income.
Makes sense. So someone looking for a steady stream of rental income might be drawn to those condo-heavy areas.
Precisely, however, it's important to consider the potential downsides as well.
Okay.
High turnover of renters can mean, more wear and tear on the property. And you might have to deal with stricter rules and regulations, from HOAs and things like that.
Ah, so it's not all sunshine and margaritas, even in paradise.
Right, exactly.
What about areas with a lot of land listings? We talked about Sian Khan earlier. What kind of investor might be drawn to a location like that?
Yeah, Sian Khan is a great example of an area that's still in its early stages of development. The abundance of land listings suggests that there's a lot of potential for growth, which can be very attractive to a certain type of investor.
Someone who's comfortable with a bit more risk and is in it for the long haul?
Exactly. Investing in land in a developing area can be a gamble, but it can also yield substantial rewards if that area takes off as planned. However, it's essential to be aware of potential challenges, such as maybe a lack of fully developed infrastructure or the possibility that that growth might not happen as quickly as anticipated.
So it's all about weighing the potential rewards against the risks.
Yeah.
Now, beyond the numbers and the market trends, I'm curious about the more intangible aspects of choosing a location in Riviera Maya.
Oh, you're talking about the overall vibe of a place.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crucial, and it often gets overlooked.
Yeah.
The Riviera Maya has such a diverse range of atmospheres, from the bustling tourist hotspots to the tranquil, secluded escapes.
Right, and I imagine the vibe of a location can have a significant impact on your enjoyment as an owner, but also the type of rental market you're catering to.
Absolutely. For example, Cancun's hotel zone is known for its, nightlife and high-energy atmosphere. It attracts a certain type of visitor, one who's looking for excitement and entertainment.
Whereas a place like Solomon Bay offers a completely different experience.
Exactly. Solomon Bay is all about tranquility, natural beauty, and a slower pace of life. It appeals to a different type of traveler, someone who's seeking relaxation and escape.
It's fascinating how the personality of a location can really influence its appeal to both residents and visitors.
It's about finding the right fit for you and your investment goals. Do you envision yourself hosting lively gatherings on a bustling beachfront terrace? Or would you prefer quiet evenings listening to the waves crash on a secluded stretch of sand?
Those are great questions to consider. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of owning a beachfront property, but it's crucial to think about the lifestyle you want to create.
I couldn't agree more. It's about envisioning yourself in that space and considering how that overall atmosphere aligns with your vision.
Yes, we've got price, location, property type, market trends,
Yeah.
and even the vibe of the area. It's a lot to consider.
It is, and that's why having expert guidance can make all the difference.
Speaking of expert guidance, let's talk a bit more about how your team can help potential investors navigate this complex market.
Our team, they live and breathe Riviera Maya real estate. They have a deep understanding of the market trends, the intricacies of each location, and those little nuances that can often go unnoticed.
What kind of questions should an investor be asking when they're consulting with your team?
Well, the first step is to really be clear about your budget and your investment goals.
Okay,
Are you looking for a vacation home, a rental property, or a long-term investment that's really going to shape the entire search process?
I see. And then I imagine it's important to really delve into the specifics of each location.
Absolutely. Don't hesitate to ask detailed questions, about the rental market, upcoming developments, property taxes, HOA fees, anything and everything that could impact your investment.
It's about getting all the cards on the table.
Precisely buying beachfront property in the Riviera Maya is a dream for many,
Right.
but it's essential to approach it with both excitement and a healthy dose of pragmatism.
So it's about balancing the dream with the realities of the market now. Before we move on to our final thoughts on Riviera Maya, I want to remind our listeners that the link to schedule a consultation with our expert team is right there in that description box. They're ready to answer your questions, provide personalized guidance, and help make informed decisions about investing in Riviera Maya beachfront real estate. Now, before we wrap up, I'd love to get your perspective on the long-term outlook for this market. What are your thoughts on the future of beachfront property in Riviera Maya?
Well, no one has a crystal ball, but I'm generally quite optimistic about the Riviera Maya's long-term prospects. This region has consistently attracted tourists and investors, and I don't see that slowing down.
So you believe that the demand for Riviera Maya beachfront property will likely remain strong?
I do. Mexico continues to captivate visitors. The stunning beaches, the rich culture, and the cost of living is relatively affordable compared to other destinations. Those factors all contribute to a steady flow of tourists, which in turn fuels the demand for real estate, especially that beachfront property.
That makes sense. But are there any potential challenges or risks on the horizon investors should be aware of?
Of course, no investment is without risk. Global economic conditions can always impact the market, and things happen that we don't expect. That's why it's so important to approach any investment with a balanced perspective and a well thought out strategy.
So while Riviera Maya seems like a solid bet for real estate investment, it's still crucial to do your homework and be cautious.
Absolutely, diversification is also key. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, explore different locations, consider various property types, and do your research to make sure your investment aligns with, your risk tolerance and your long-term goals.
It sounds like the takeaway here is to approach Riviera Maya beachfront real estate with informed enthusiasm, embrace the possibilities, but be diligent and seek expert guidance.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Investing in beachfront property isn't just about the numbers, it's about lifestyle, creating memories and owning a piece of paradise.
Well said. It's been a pleasure diving into the world of Riviera Maya beachfront real estate with you today. I hope our listeners feel inspired and ready to take that next step.
The pleasure was all mine, and remember, the journey to owning a piece of paradise starts with a single step.
Or in this case, a single click. That link to schedule a consultation with our expert team is in the description box. Don't miss out on this opportunity to explore the exciting world of Riviera Maya beachfront real estate. Until next time, happy investing.